Now welcome to the show, now kick back while I hit the road. Like cholo trucking, cholo boxing, cholos on a stroll. Now breaking down the clutch, I homie how to use the ropes. Cause I know how it goes, like trucking boy, I hit that road. Now you can lose control or take control, you set the goals. Now let me break it down to the ones that's taking notes. Now welcome to the Cholo Trucker, welcome to the show. Now welcome to the Cholo Trucker.
All right, what's up, familia? Welcome inside the hotel room. Hope you guys are doing good. Keep in between the lines. Got your load secure inside the hotel room. I'm out here trucking, doing my thing. Speaking on trucking, I have the man when it comes to trucking. I'm talking about my man, Vic Med. Vic, what is going on, Katna?
What's going on, man? Just here trying to dispatch and trying to do a video with you.
Vic, man. How long have you been in the trucking game?
We've been in the trucking game 33, almost 30 years.
Almost 30 years. What led you to get into the trucking business?
It was just my thing when I was a kid. You know, I just used to go crazy when I see the big rigs go by us. You know, I would just stare at them like, you know, one day that's gonna be me. One day that's gonna be me. So it was a childhood dream.
Yeah, you know what? I told my trucking how I got into trucking as well. When I was a little kid, I loved trucks, man. I did. I used to go on with my dad, right? Because he was a truck driver. And you know, my dad took off when I was like 6, 7 years old. So after that, as I grew up a little bit more, I was young and I was like, Charlie, I don't want to be no trucker. But that was more like because of him, you know, because of the anger I had for him. I was like, hey, it ain't gonna happen. I mean, I ain't gonna be no trucker. I want to be that.
Right.
Even though when I was a kid, I loved trucks. I loved going with him.
Right.
And I was so against becoming a truck driver. I was so against it, man. But you know what? I'm glad I fell into it, man. And 20 years later doing that, I'm so proud, man, of being a trucker. It's definitely a breed, man. It's definitely a different type that goes out there and handles these trucks, man. When you get in there and you connect one with the semi, man, it's completely different. But Vic, so what do you do now, Vic?
I dispatch. I dispatch my trucks now. I used to drive. I started like everybody else. I was a company driver. Then I went and got a truck and I leased it onto a company. And then with that company, I bought another truck, and good thing that company let me lease that truck onto them. So I ran 2 trucks for a little bit without dispatching them. We were getting dispatched by the company, and that was pretty cool. But then the company shut doors. There was a big lawsuit going on, so they shut doors. And I was pretty much forced into getting my own authority, you know. And it was a little struggle because, you know, my driver wanted work. I didn't have no work from. I didn't know how to dispatch. I didn't know where to get the freight from or anything like that, you know. So I had to let him go. So we went and got our own authority. And then I found this company in right in Ontario. And they were like, you know what? Yeah, bring your trucks over. You know, we'll give you freight. So we started off like that. And then the truck got smashed. It got totaled. And I was back to one truck. But I kept pushing. I kept wanting to be, you know, my own guy, my own boss, make my own money and stuff like that. So eventually we bought more trucks and we ended up buying more equipment, and here we are now.
Did you know, you said you bought your own truck and all. Being an owner operator comes with a lot more responsibility. Did it ever cross your mind to just say like, you know what? I'll just go back to being a company driver. Whatever happens to the truck, that's not on me. That goes all to the company.
No, that never crossed my mind, and that's the honest truth. Even though I had all the breakdowns and there was times at the end of the week, all the money I had made had to go right back into the truck. And, we had to stay behind on a couple bills, because I had to put the money into the truck because I knew the truck was our money maker. So I had to put it back into the truck. And that never crossed my mind. But yeah, being an owner operator, it is a whole different monster, that's for sure. It's a whole different monster because everything falls on you, breakdowns, fuel, when it comes
Yes.
coming out of pocket, it's gonna come out of your pocket, not the company's pocket.
Right. Yes. When I first started trucking, I started with my own truck. It was a 81 International cab over, man. No power steering, no AC, no radio. Just driving that sucker just in the summer, hose in the floorboard, man. I would just bake in that damn thing, man. And I remember when it completely broke down because I was hauling bottom dumps. I'm hauling bottom dumps. You're going into construction sites. You're going into these jacked up places, man. The truck's bouncing all around and all kinds of things, man, and constant breakdowns. And it seems like every time that you have free, you're spending it with the truck to fix something on the truck. I was young, man. I was young. So once the heads cracked, I found a mechanic that said, okay, we'll do it for, I think like a little under 3 Gs. And at that time, work was not good. For those that don't know, bottom dumps is basically construction. So when it rains or just like construction, sometimes there's just no work. And I think 1 month, I think I only worked like 2 days. And work just was not good. It wasn't good. I was sick of it. I was tired of it. I was like, man, I don't want to spend all this money and to fix this truck, man. And it's old, and who knows if the suspension's even gonna hold up. I let it go. And I got into a company. And from then I started company driving, and I could understand why somebody would stay with the company. Some drivers are like, you know what, I don't want that responsibility.
Right.
I just want to clock in, drive, and clock out. If anything's wrong with the truck, I just write it up, turn it in, and that's that. But at the same time, being an owner operator, there's a lot more freedom for you. So I completely understand both sides of it, man. But you always want to be your own boss, right?
Yeah. The trick about the trucks, I'm getting the hang of the trucks now is, when you see the issue, fix the issue. Don't wait for the issue to get even worse. Like for instance, this weekend, last week, the driver called me and he said, "Hey, Victor, I'm trying to turn on the truck, but it clicks. Then I turn the key to off, and then I turn it back on to on, and it cranks." So that right there tells me that the starter's going out. So right away, that was, I think he let me know Friday night, because he's one of my night drivers. So Friday night, he let me know. And then I got down there this weekend and I got it done. That's the little trick to the trucks, and I try to be real anal with the drivers when it comes to the trucks. You guys need to let me know when this truck is not feeling right, when there's a check engine light on, because I need to check this truck right away. I don't want you guys driving around with check engine lights on or anything broken on these trucks. But that's the trick to the trucks. As soon as you get that little sign, go get it checked out. If you get it checked out, believe me, you're going to come out of pocket for not much. But if you wait, if you prolong it, yeah, you're going to come out of pocket for sure.
Yeah. There's that saying: you either spend $100 today or $1,000 tomorrow. So
Exactly.
It's your choice, man. But anyway, Vic, man, I've been watching your videos, and for anybody who's watching, the link to Vic's channel is in the comment section. It's pinned, so it'll be the very first comment that pops up. Vic, so man, you've gained a lot of knowledge from the trucking business, the trucking industry, man. And I watch your videos and I'm like, man, this guy knows a lot about what's going on. He knows a lot about a lot, man. Kind of want to talk to you about a couple of things. A lot of people, they ask me and I'm like, well, I know a little bit about a little bit, but I got my boy Vic right here and he's got a better handle on it, man. For one, Vic, let's touch on one of the big ones, the ports. Okay, there's all kinds of speculation on what's going on in the ports. I've talked to different truckers. I've gotten different stories. I made a video of the ports. From what I've gathered, some people have gone comments and are like, "Hey, man, you need to get somebody that actually knows what's going on." And I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna try," but I've heard quite a few things. Obviously, there's the shortage of truckers. Okay, I don't think that one's okay. The shortage of chassis. Okay, that the ports are not taking containers back due to they don't have the room. So now you just got the container sitting on the chassis. And one that some drivers are pretty adamant about, man, is the people that work at the ports. They're like, hey, they're not moving fast, man. Mm-hmm. And some of these containers are buried. You just don't go into the ports and they just load you with any container. No, you're there to pick up a certain container. And because you're so backed up, some of these containers and lack of room, some of these containers are buried and they need to take the container, from being buried. And that's time consuming. But that's a lot of these people that work at the ports, they're not moving along. So Vic, what have you heard, man? Shortage of truckers, shortage of chassis, the workers there. What's going on at the ports, Vic?
Well, I have trucks going into the ports right now. What's going on is there's no shortage of truckers. No trucker has stopped working. This is what took place. The coronavirus hit. Everybody and their mother shut down. When they eased up on the lockdown, everybody went back into the warehouses and started making these, whatever it is that we buy here in America. They just happened to put everything on containers and on ships at the same time. And now we're cluttered out there in the ocean with a parking lot of ships. So everything's there at one time. When normally it would be 5, 6 boats, at a time, one would get offloaded, get loaded, and then it would take off. And then here comes the other one. It would get offloaded. It would get loaded with empties. And they would take off. But now they're not doing that. What they're doing is, as soon as that ship docks in, they offload it, that ship takes off. It doesn't get loaded back up with empty containers. It just takes off because they're so backed up out there. Are they short of chassis? They're not short of chassis, like you said. The chassis are sitting on containers. The thing is this, the ports, the way it works, you take out a loaded container, you can bring back an empty container and drop it off. But since the union people, longshoremen, whatever they want to call themselves, since them dudes are not loading up these ships with empty containers, they're not accepting empty containers. Once in a while, well, they'll let you take in an empty container if you're picking up a load from that same port. Where before, you didn't have to do that. You could take it to any port that was accepting that kind of container, whether it was a Hanjin, a Maersk, whatever it was. You can take it to any port that was accepting them kind of containers, drop it, take that chassis, and go to the next port. But now they're only doing it what they call a due transaction. You come in with the empty, they take that empty off of you, and you pick up a load, and you pull out. They're not doing that no more. They're doing is take the container, see you later, bye. You want to try to bring an empty, you got to wait 2, 3 days, sometimes a week to take that empty container back because they're not accepting containers, empty containers. So is there a shortage of chassis? There's not a shortage. They're just on empty containers all over the place. there's big companies right now in Carson, in Long Beach, down on my side in Fontana and Chino, where you're pulling up, they're taking the container off of you, they're stacking in these big old stacks on their yard. They got these big old lots now, and you're taking off with the chassis, and you're able to use that chassis. But it's just trying to find these yards that will accept that container. That's another thing.
Yeah, I have been seeing yards stacking containers. Um, I don't know I don't know how many containers you can start stacking before you're gonna have that problem where it's like, okay, we don't have room to continually keep stacking containers.
Yeah, yeah.
So but you do, I at least I do see yards even off the 10 freeway stacking up containers, and it's like, okay, if it works for that time, it works for that time, but at some point, you know, you're gonna have to get rid of some of these containers.
Yeah.
So man, what about the fact that the guys there, the union workers, are slow, man? I mean, I've talked to a couple of truckers. I've never worked there at the ports. I have gone into the ports in Long Beach when I was doing bottom dumps, when they were doing some construction there. But I didn't really have to deal with those guys much. But I'm not hearing a lot of good, friendly things about them, man. I don't know how much you want to throw out there, Vic.
Well, no, it's just that's just the way union people work. If it's not on their contract, they are not going to do it. And union people are their head is so blown up that whatever area they work on, they think they're the king of that castle, you know. And the port is humongous, you know. Every port that you go to is like a little city. So if you're new to the port, you're gonna get lost. And them dudes are no help whatsoever, you know. Are they slow? They've been slow. They've been slow. I think the last time I've been in that port was maybe 9 years ago. Or maybe no, I'm lying. Maybe four or 5 years ago. I was in the port myself. And they haven't changed. They haven't changed. They're no help. They don't work fast. They don't work fast. They're slower than a turtle. They're the type of people that they're like robots. You know, they need to be told what to do. And if you don't tell them what to do, they're just not going to do it. There's faster ways of taking care of what they have to take care of, but it's not in their contract, so they're not going to do it.
Right.
So yeah, poor people. I mean, union people and longshoremen. I've said it numerous of times on my videos. You know, they need to get them out of there. They need to get them out of there and just get a regular company to run these ports. That's why they're making these automated ports. Which, I mean, everybody likes these automated ports because they're easy. You're in and out, no problem, you know. Everything's labeled. I mean, there's no way of getting lost in these ports that are automated. You pull up to the speaker asks you, you know, your pickup number, what container you're picking up. You go to your spot. A machine puts this container on your chassis. You take off. That's why they're building these things, because the union people, they want more money for what? They're not doing their job fast enough. I mean, them containers could get stacked on chassis and put on rolls for these truckers to just pull up, hook up, and take off. But it's not beneficial for them because they're union people. They want to milk the clock, and they want to show the government, we run this thing. That's why the union people are for the AB5 law, for all these laws for owner operators to get out of California and become company drivers, because they want to make all the ports unionized. But they ain't worth two dead flights.
Man, you know what? I did not even know that there was I didn't know that about the ports, man. I did not know that there was automated ports. Um, wow, that's I have not heard that before. Damn. Okay. Well, hey, man, that might bring something different. But I do hear what you're saying about the owner operator trucker, man. And you know, I know two guys that decided just to grab a truck and leave California and say like, nah, this ain't. I see which way the wind is blowing, and it's not blowing into my favor, man. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Along with so many other people that have left the state, man. Um, what's it like, Vic? You having your business in Cali and trying to keep up with the laws and the rules and the regulations that keep cracking down.
It's stressful, bro. It's stressful because you don't know if next year you're gonna be in business because of these rules and regulations that these people keep putting on us. It's real stressful. Like right now, you know, there's a few of us that, we don't have a whole lot of equipment. We just, we have a small company and we're walking on pins and needles because we're waiting to see what happens, with this AB5 law. I pay all my drivers with 1099 because the way I see it, my drivers deserve every penny. Every penny that they work for, they deserve it. The government doesn't deserve it. They can't live off of 700-800 bucks. So I'm a true believer on 1099s. Let them deal with the taxes at the end of the year. And right now we're just on pin and needles, to tell you the truth. We don't know what's gonna happen. There's a lot of mega companies. Like there's a mega company that was here, DST. They had like 137 trucks and trailers, and they closed down last year, bro. They closed down. They called me up and they were like, "Hey, Victor, we got trailers for sale. You want to come and buy some?"
Really?
And me and the wife, we shot down there, and I mean, they were giving them away. I mean, they were penny to the dollar. And I talked to the manager there, and I was like, "What's going on?" He goes, "Nah, we're shutting down. We're closing doors." I was like, "Oh man!" But again, because of all the rules and regulations that California has put on the trucking industry.
Mhm.
So it's hard, bro. It's hard.
Yeah, I try to encourage people a little bit more to pay attention on more of the local government and what's going on, man, and a lot of these laws that have been passed and how it's been. I've said it before. There's two countries. There's the United States of America, and then there's California. And
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm like, man, you know what? You venture out into these other states, and you could just go to the neighboring states. I'm in Nevada right now, and actually spend some time there. I don't mean just go to Las Vegas and spend your dollar. I mean actually hang out, spend some time, see the differences and things like that, man. And you can see what the difference really truly is,
right.
and how it's tough, man. And you're small business owner, how it's tough to keep up with all these constant changes that California keeps throwing out there, man. And also in the trucking industry, and also Vic, your love for that 2008 Freightliner that you have.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not letting that puppy go. I'm gonna fight tooth and nail for that puppy.
Oh man, Vic loves his '08 Freightliner, man. Vic, speaking on that, man, um, there was all these talks, man, about self-driving trucks, right? And I remember I first started hearing about it quite a few years ago, and I kept on saying, like, look, this will be like 100. I will be well dead, man. This is gonna be like 100 years by the time this comes into play.
Right.
And then doing more research at it, and it started getting more attention. because my mind thought was like, no, we're gonna see self-driving cars way before we see self-driving trucks. It ain't gonna happen. It won't happen in our lifetime.
Right.
And then I started realizing, and I started seeing a lot of these companies like Too Simple and Embark, and they're making more noise. And I start seeing their plans.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't think about this. Okay. Actually, their plan is to have self-driving trucks before there's self-driving cars. The thing is, if my research serves me correct, you know, they're not going to be taking all the routes. They're going to be taking, you know, basically just kind of like the open land, mainly to start with like the Southwest, you know, outside of the cities, of course. You know, the openness of California to Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, whatever you see on the I-10 and the I-40 and even the 8. I'm talking freeways here for anybody who doesn't know. All that open land, they're looking at take those routes. I think Too Simple already has its map routed out into Oklahoma, Texas, all the way into Arizona. And it's like, okay, now I can kind of connect the dot more and say like, okay, maybe this can happen. Maybe this can happen. And now there's footage out there, and a couple people have got at me and said like, hey man, I saw, you know, a selfless drive truck go from Texas to Arizona. And now there's a new 1A from Tucson up to Phoenix. Vic, what do you make about these autonomous trucks?
They're going to come out, Cholo. They're going to come out. Are they going to last? No, they're not going to last. Let me tell you why they're not going to last. Somebody's going to hack into their system, kill a whole bunch of people. Look at right now, Amazon is one of the biggest dogs out there. What just happened to Amazon? They don't want to admit it, but they got hacked for a day and a half. Who else uses the servers that Amazon uses? Plane stations, train stations. So not only did Amazon get hacked, Southwest got hacked. I think either the blue or the red line in LA got hacked. So they're trying to run these trucks off computers. They're gonna get hacked. A whole bunch of people are gonna get killed by these trucks. They know it, but they're still trying to push it. But I mean, it's got to happen for these people to finally realize, you know, we can't run these trucks behind a computer.
All
but
right,
it's gonna happen.
Let me play devil's advocate right here, okay? Because I mean, I don't like these autonomous trucks ones. I mean, I'll just turn around if somebody takes a sledgehammer to one. But let me just play devil's advocate here and say like, okay, Vic, people die now in trucking accidents. Okay, so because a self-driving truck kills somebody or gets into an accident, for everybody to point the finger and say, see, it's not gonna work. Okay, there's truck accidents from coast to coast every day. So there's people that die. So why just point your finger at the self-driving truck, and what about all the other accidents? Well, what would you say to that?
Because somebody behind the wheel is more reliable than nobody behind the wheel.
Okay. Yeah. No, I agree with you. And you know, just kind of one thing to throw out there, and maybe I'm reaching here. maybe I'm reaching really far here, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, look, man, you know, everybody was freaked out after 9/11, right?
Right.
The terrorism with the planes and everything like that. And I was like, that'll never happen again, because, you know, security got so tight on it. If we have self-driving trucks out there, right, and there's somebody that really wants to do some damage and can get a hold of some self-driving trucks and hacking, whether it's terrorism, whether it be anybody, and really wants to do some damage, damn, that could be quite the way to do some damage. If you can get, a good handful of trucks in your hands and control them,
Yep.
Maybe even with some hazmat material in it. Who knows, man? You can definitely go, make some noise with that. So, but you're right, Vic. I think they are going to come. I don't think we'll ever see them in the city. I think we'll see them in the open roads, on the 10 freeway here on the western southern part of the country. I'm not sure if we'll ever see them like in the northeast or anything like that, where weather really comes in and overpasses. You got to find a detour to get around an overpass. But definitely, I think they're coming, man. Even if it's just seasonal.
Yeah.
Even if they just say, you know what, we're just gonna run them when the weather's good. I do see it happening. Will it last? Vic, you say no. I'm gonna say they last. I'm gonna say they last, but they're not gonna take over. Like I said, I think it'll probably become seasonal, maybe all year long, but there's only so much they can do, man. There's only so many places they can go. They're not gonna be able to do all the job that comes with a trucker. They can replace the steering wheel holder, but never a trucker, man.
They're once the mega companies start losing out money on these trucks crashing and losing all this freight, once they start losing all this money, watch, they're just not going to buy them. They're not going to buy them because that's what's going to happen. They're going to get hacked. They're going to get hacked. They're going to cause accidents. They're going to lose freight. They're going to lose money. And eventually I'm like you. Are they going to go away forever? I don't think so. And you got a good point. They might just use them on when there's good weather, So yeah, you got a good point.
Yeah, man. That's kind of what I think is going to happen. I think they're looking to start running by 2024, I believe, to start actually putting them out there. And we'll see, but yeah, they're not going to take over it, everything. With that, Vic, how do you find work for your drivers, man? You got your fleet of trucks. How does one go out there and start finding work, man?
Well, I got a good friend. He's guided me through this whole little journey. He's my partner. He's got his own trucks. He's got like, I don't know, about 27, 37 trucks. But he's pretty much the one that's been guiding me and showing me how to do stuff. Nowadays, I pretty much get contracts through brokers. Okay. Like right now, we have a contract with Trader Joe's. So we do Trader Joe's, and we do a whole bunch of other stuff. But that's the way I try to get work is either through the load board. I'll get a load from the load board, but I'll stay in touch with that one broker and see when he needs more than one truck. And that's how I get work. So like say, for instance, I book a load from XPO, and it's a pretty good paying load. I try to stay in touch with that. I'll keep in touch with that broker, see if he has more of them loads. And then, I'll maybe send them an email once a week, letting them know, hey, got numerous of trucks over here, if you have a little contract, keep us in mind, stuff like that. But my day starts by answering emails and sending out emails to a lot of brokers that we work with. And that's the way we started getting contracts.
And how is it competing with like the big companies, man? I mean, why do they look at you guys and not deal with them?
Well, because yeah, the big companies are big, but they're not reliable.
Okay.
The thing with the big companies is like, for instance, the big company, there'll be a load out there for like, say, $1,000.
Mm.
They'll call me and they'll tell me, you know what, Victor, we'll give you 1,300 for that load. Can you pick it up tomorrow and deliver it tomorrow? Yeah, no problem. They'll call the big company and they'll tell them, look, this load is up for grabs for 1,300. We need it picked up tomorrow and delivered tomorrow. Can you guys handle it? The big company will say, yeah. Like, for instance, Swift. Swift will say, yeah. But they are so big, Cholo, that they'll never get to it.
Okay.
So the company will call the broker, hey, my freight is not here yet. My freight is not here yet. So they'll call Swift and ask Swift, hey, what happened to the load? Oh, the truck broke down. We were trying to send it. So they'll make up a whole bunch of excuses.
Right.
So the way people look at the big companies is not really the way the big companies work. Like the company that you work for, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Yeah, you're doing your job. They're telling you go pick up this load, but you don't know how late you have been to pick up that load. That company might have been, 2, 3 days late to pick up that load, but you don't know that. You understand what I'm saying? So the big
Yeah.
companies are not reliable. The big companies try to get contracts for maybe 30 trucks at a time,
Mm.
but it doesn't mean that their freight is going to be picked up at the right time and be delivered at the right time. Swift is going to make up all kinds of excuses to try to delay that pickup or that delivery. Where small companies like us, I mean, we get a load for $1,300. I'm going to send one of the drivers to go pick it up and go deliver it. No problem.
Yeah. Yeah. And for anybody who's watching who doesn't know, when you pick up a load, it's just there's a time that you have an appointment time to deliver it. It's not, orale, you take a nice little road trip and you could just stop here, stop everywhere, take your time and get there whenever you get there. No, there is a time that you have to deliver it. You have to meet that time. So yeah, yeah, definitely, man. Even in local driving, a lot of it is schedule time, appointment windows. You gotta be here from 10 to 11 because that company scheduled that time right there to unload you, whatever it may be. So it's not just, hey, everybody just show up whenever you want. No, that's not how it works, man. I think some people might have that thought that that's how trucking works. No, you do have time, a schedule to be there.
Yeah.
So, you gotta keep that up. Vic, how's the cost of diesel, man?
It's crazy right now. It's crazy right now. I mean, I pay my guys' diesel every week, and yeah, it's crazy right now. It's no joke. And my
Yeah.
guys they're conservative with the diesel, and they try to find a few pumps that are cheaper, but yeah, it's crazy right now in California.
Um, are you running the biodiesel?
My what?
The biodiesel or just the regular diesel with the DEF?
Yeah, regular diesel with death.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That came in, and when that came in, I don't know, a lot of drivers that I know were pretty pissed off about it, man. They're like, man, this is gonna ruin a lot right here. So I was like, whatever it may be, man. But that's more time spent at filling up at the truck stops, man, because now they're filling up two different tanks, even though it's a much smaller tank. But Vic, man, so we all know, that case that really blew up
Yeah,
about that driver in Colorado. Okay.
right.
you know, you spoke your piece on it. I've spoken my piece on it. What I do want to talk about is a lot of people's opinions when it comes to schools and training and things of that nature. Now, I made a video talking about, look,